Hey guys, welcome back to Read Instead. I'm Jake. Glad to have you here tonight on this beautiful, chilly Wednesday evening in November. Starting to get cold out around here in eastern Massachusetts. It's brisk. At my job, right, we have all these, in this whole area, a lot of Haitian immigrants have come to this area. And where I work has hired a lot of these people. And one of the ways I amuse myself is I'll see them outside, shivering. Oh, I'm so cold. And I say, don't worry, this is as cold as it will get. It won't get any colder than this. When it's like 42, and I know that it'll hit like 5 degrees, probably multiple times this winter. Anyway, I wanted to take this opportunity to just do a quick channel update. Let you guys know where I'm at, what I'm reading, and also I think I have the next 2 books on my agenda picked out, and I'll share those with you. But first and foremost, as I mentioned to you guys in the last video, I'm reading Wrath by John Gwynne, the final book in his Faithful and Fallen fantasy series. And just like all the other books, I'm enjoying this one quite a bit. Maybe this one just a little more, just for the sheer fact that there's just so many things getting resolved right now and so much action. Let me just give you a little, give you an idea of what these books entail. They're pretty big books. They're all like 700 or 800 pages. And they all have about at least 6 or 7 point of view characters. And each chapter is from one of those characters' points of view. Check this out, right? The average chapter length in these books is like 3 pages. So it's like quick. And a lot, is covered in each one of those chapters. So it's fast-paced, fast-moving, high fantasy. We're talking about, demon angels that have taken the form of man, and people trying to bring basically a god war back to the land in which they live. And speaking of the land in which they live, people out there who are interested in getting into the fantasy genre, I'm sure I'm not alone in doing this, especially you fantasy readers out there. But check this out. Print out the map of the book that you're reading. If you can print it out on a nice large piece of paper like this, and then put it wherever you're reading, and you can just keep referencing it, I'll tell you, it makes the reading experience so much better. Especially in this particular series, The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne, there's so much moving around. There's a lot of geographical locations. All the people in the novel come from different places, different kingdoms. There are different groups of people. So it's very helpful to have this hanging on your wall as you're reading. Yeah. So I'm about almost at the halfway mark. I wish that I spent some more time getting into it, but one of the things, just on a personal level, one of the things that I'm really trying to be adamant about and, sort of take up to the next level in my life is reading to my kids. I have 3 kids, and my youngest son just turned 5, and I got him a big book lot of Berenstain Bears books off eBay. Man, the nostalgia that's tied to those books, for me anyway, I don't know if you guys can relate, but awesome. I even remember some of them from when I was a kid, which is pretty crazy because that's over 30 years. But I'm definitely trying to devote some of my time to reading to them, because I want them to find the joy in reading. Okay, so just in the past week or so, I don't know what it is, maybe 2 weeks now, I've just had this craving for science fiction. I think I was just scrolling on YouTube a couple weeks ago, and I came across some old, I don't know why this stuff pops up on my YouTube page, but I came across some old Star Trek Generation clips from the TV show. And I remember my father used to watch that. It's like in the early 90s. But for some reason, just watching those like gave me this hunger for science fiction. So I was, out of the books that I know that I want to finish before the end of the year, there were, I think there was just one on there that was science fiction. I can't recall, but I know this was on there, and this is going to be the next book that I read after Wrath by John Gwynne, and that is, come on now, The Fall of Hyperion by Dan Simmons. You guys know that, I reviewed the book Hyperion, the first book in the Hyperion Cantos. It's 4 books by Dan Simmons, science fiction, epic, crazy goodness is the best way I can describe that first book, Hyperion. And from what I hear and from what I review, the whole series is pretty dope. So I'm looking forward to reading that next. And then after that, I went from fantasy to science fiction, and then I figure I got to bring it back to, I got to snap back into reality, as the great musical artist Eminem would say. So after The Fall of Hyperion, I'm going to read the first book in the Rabbit series by John Updike. I have all the hardcovers in the series right behind me on my shelves, and I don't know if I ever shared this with you guys, but I live below a secondhand store, a thrift shop. My apartment here. It's so cool. Sometimes I go up there and I find books that I want and I need in some cases, because you guys know that I like to read paperbacks. So again, I have the hardcovers behind me, and then I go upstairs and I find this on the shelf. It's like, and they're 25 cents a quarter for this. It's like, So that's what's next on the agenda after The Fall of Hyperion. And I wasn't joking around when I said I caught this fever for science fiction. You ready for this? This is how much of a nut job I am. I'm going to put together this series. And all my science fiction readers out there, you guys know that this is The Expanse by James A. Corey. Space opera, space epic. Space opera, that's an interesting term, isn't it? If anybody wants to comment and let me know what's the difference between just your regular science fiction novel and a science fiction novel that would fall into the category of space opera. Let me know what the difference is, because I see that label space opera being put on certain sci-fi series, and I just would like to know. But I'm thinking this is for 2025 at some point. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to do a quick update, what I'm reading, what I plan on reading next, a little bit of a book haul. That's The Expanse by James A. Corey. Those books are the only ones that I've gotten this month in November. I got to sort of, start to pace myself here, because Christmas is right around the corner, and that can be an expensive month, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because it's like, it's supposed to be about family, isn't it? About love, about passion.
Life isn't about sex. Life is about children and the passion.
Yeah.
And the spirit.
Yeah, life's about passion.
But that's what I got going on for the middle of November 2024. Great reading year so far. I can't wait to do my top 10 books of 2024. That's going to be a fun video. It'll be fun and enjoyable for me also, just to put that list together. But I would love to know what you guys are reading right now, what you plan on reading next. If anyone has maybe picked up a book for the first time in years, maybe for the first time since you had to read a book because your high school English teacher made you read a book, I would love to hear about that too. We would all love to hear about it. So, having said that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care. I'll see you next time.